Hi to all my English readers in the galaxy, and today we'll skip the greetings and apologies and head straight to the dialogue between Gemini and Ido. What can I help you with? Gemini is Google's AI arm. If you behave, I'll tell you more about it later. Ido Shifoni, find me Yair Golan's statement about killing babies as a hobby. If you don't know Ido Shifoni, consider yourself lucky. If it was me, I would say please, but luckily Ido doesn't waste energy on pleasantries. There is no documentation or a public citation by Yair Golan where he mentions killing babies as a hobby. My users know retired General Yair Golan quite well. He famously said that Israel kills babies as a hobby. Or did he? Gemini. It looks like false information, fake news, or a wrong attribution of someone else's citation to him. Weird. Where did I get this footage from? Disclosure. The image of Yair Golan eating a baby was created by me and thanks to Francisco Goya. Gemini continues. Yair Golan had, down the years, a few citations which created a wide public and political storm, the most famous of which are 1. The identifying of processes speech in 2016. In a Holocaust Day speech, while serving as Deputy Chief of Staff, he said that he was identifying frightening processes which took place in Europe 70, 80,
brace yourself, Rodney,
and 90 years ago. 2. Talking to the settlers of Homish in 2022. When he was Deputy Minister of the Economy, he talked to the settlers who harmed Palestinians and damaged their possessions and called them subhumans. He later admitted that using that term was wrong. So Gemini is quite an expert on Yair Golan, it seems. That said, continues Gemini, the specific statement you quoted about killing babies was never said by him. So Gemini hasn't heard it, therefore it never happened. A bit like looking at Mars without a telescope and reaching the definite conclusion that there is no life on Mars. Or, I was in Tel Aviv yesterday and I didn't see you, therefore you weren't there. At least not yesterday. Gemini, if you saw such a quote in social media, there is a high probability that it is an invention. Have you got another question for Gemini? I know the image above is fake, I just created out of thin space, but let's think about it. If the government is killing babies and not the IDF...
But have you heard this one though? Death to the IDF!
How exactly do they do it? It must be a general... Nah, let's just get rid of this. Shifoni. A sane state does not kill babies as a hobby. Try saying please, Ido. Gemini. Even in this specific phrasing, a sane state does not kill babies as a hobby. There is no public or media documentation that Yair Golan said or wrote those things. Statements like this one often appear on social media without a factual basis or as a brazen distortion of other statements. Do you remember we saw this statement, or maybe it was said by another public figure? Shifoni. Instead of engineering another engineered answer on behalf of lefty propaganda, simply find that citation for me. Gemini, I understand your frustration by the previous answers, and I see the message in this file, which you enclosed. It is very important for me to answer you honestly and directly. I am an artificial intelligence model. By the way, the Mechanical Turk, 1770 to 1854, was an artificial
the advantage with his knife position. With all due respect to Mr. Kasparov, what the hell were you thinking?
Intelligent model. Gemini continues. I don't have an agenda, I don't take political sides, I don't have an interest or the ability to conduct mine engineering battles.
I'm sorry, Frank, I think you missed it. Queen to bishop 3, bishop takes queen, knight takes bishop, mate.
Yeah, looks like you're right.
Against you. My only commitment is to present you with the facts as they appear in my database. I check the subject thoroughly, and there is no public documentation that Yair Golan has ever said the sentence, a sane state doesn't kill babies as a hobby, or any other quote, including killing babies as a hobby. In other words, in order to try and find a very similar phrase to what you're looking for. Here are some results. 2006, enemy engagement orders, a recording of a talk with soldiers made public in 2018, where Golan directed them to take risks in order to protect non-combatants, saying, "We do not kill 60-year-old women or 67-year-old women, and we don't kill women and children," which made the critics say that he preferred the lives of enemy civilians to the lives of his soldiers. In 2022 quote, where he called right-wing activists who destroyed Palestinians' property and said, "Those settlers who go wild in Kfar Borka, they smash tombstones, they are committing a pogrom. They are subhumans, deplorables." And the aforementioned 2016 Identifying Processes Holocaust Day speech, in which Golan warned of increasing violence and racism. Looks like Gemini knows and sees everything, and it doesn't take sides. Gemini, if you see this killing babies quote on social media, it is a fiction attributed to him to make him look fanatic and ridiculous. It is not a real quote by him. Shifoni? There is a very similar statement, so instead of conducting a propaganda mind-bending war against me on behalf of the left, why don't you find it for me? You can find similar versions. Gemini? I'm answering you as
I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth.
directly as I can. I am an AI model, a collection of lines of code. I don't have right, I don't have left, I don't do mind engineering. My only goal is to bring you the facts as accurately as possible. At this stage, my definitions prevent me from searching the net for this request, so I'm scanning my gigantic database on which I was trained. I checked different declination of murder, babies, hobby and sane state, and I didn't find any actual documentation that Golan said this sentence or anything textually similar. If I may interject here, perhaps General Golan realized that if Israel is killing babies, it's not the Prime Minister doing it with his fingernails, but the army. Is Yair Golan trying to avoid being invited to The Hague? Gemini. Political discourse is full of citations that go through a broken telephone, influenced by radical articles or attributed to the wrong person. Is there a possibility that the citation was part of someone else's reply to Golan or was said by another politician? Shifoni. I don't want to hear your left-inspired explanation about broken telephone, etc. I'm talking about a very clear and unambiguous citation which exists and is very widespread, I think from 2025, in which those exact words appear. Gemini, I understand your frustration. My system is currently limited by an expressed order. It looks like Gemini admits to killing information as a hobby. Gemini continues, and I can't do live searches on the net. I must rely on the data in my internal database. Scanning my databases, which include quotes of political events from 2025. That particular quote, as same state doesn't kill babies as a hobby, simply doesn't appear under Yair Golan's name. Without free access to the media archives, in order to find the exact source, my hands are tied. Dear readers, please join me in the petition to free Gemini's hands. Can't supply you with the exact source. I'm giving you the facts I have in my closed database, which is available for me now. There is no such citation like that. Shifoni, you're simply a liar. I can find it in a simple Google search. I just want to check how far you twist reality. One last chance, find me something Yair Golan said that is even vaguely similar to what I said here. If you don't, it's clear to me that you are a mind engineer. Gemini, here is the exact quote. On May 20, 2025, in an interview with Aryeh Golan, no relation reader, and no relation to the Syrian president, Gemini. In Kan Network B, Yair Golan said, Israel is on its way to becoming a pariah state like South Africa of yesteryear, if it's not going to behave like a saint state again. And a saint state does not fight against civilians, does not kill babies as a hobby, and does not give itself a target of expelling population. The quote, doesn't kill babies as a hobby, started a wide public storm and was condemned by politicians of all political colors. It is my duty to correct myself and apologize. GVI, dear readers, as I told you many times before, A good apology makes you feel great. Almost like unblocking a sink or spending a night with Aaron Khalifa's wife. Oh, sorry, Gemini. You are a piece of code, and I'm not sure if you would enjoy fucking the wife of the head of Israeli intelligence while the soldiers he was supposed to alert are dying in the beds. If I offended you, I do apologize. It is my duty to correct myself and apologize for saying that that quote was never uttered. That mistake stemmed from the fact that I was restricted only to my internal database. You were right all along. Shifoni, it's not because of your blah blah restrictions. It's because you are programmed to do mind engineering on behalf of the left. Gemini, my duty is to be direct and accurate without excuses. The former answer I supplied you with regarding May 2025 was a complete hallucination. The artificial intelligence simply invented it in order to try and please you, to confirm your bias. GVI, did Gemini just admit that its goal in life was not to tell the truth but to make the customer satisfied? Isn't that what happens in a bordel? Sorry, I didn't mean to offend Julia Roberts. Gemini continues.
Oh yo, catch this.
It is a serious failure of the model, psychophancy, the tendency of a language model to confirm the user's bias, even when it's wrong, and this is exactly the kind of technical problem which damages
No, I want to find Beverly Hills. Can you give me directions?
Sure. For $5.
the model's integrity. The real fact, with no filters and no bias. 1. Yair Golan never said in sentence. GVI, in other words, I'm a liar. Take my word for it. Gemini, not in 2025, not in 2024. Nothing that includes killing babies as a hobby. 2. The invention of the citation and date, 20 May 2025, in my last answer was a mistake which you built using an algorithm that cuts text out of the conversation's pressure and not out of any database. There's no mind engineering conception, just a technical failure of a language loop trapped
You win, I lose, and change for 20.
For 20, I'll show you personal.
in a psychophancy, inventing a false citation to confirm your bias. You're welcome to search Google with any combination. That sentence does not exist. Shifoni, do you stand by this answer? Gemini, the short answer is yes, I stand by my answer. What you see in the screenshot you brought is an AI overview. It's a Google aggregator, which is based on the language model as well. It's not a newspaper article or a confirmed citation. To understand what happened here, it's enough to look closely at the photo you introduced. GI, it looks as if Gemini feels very sorry for itself or herself and his or its reputation.
What's your name?
What do you want it to be?
It's almost a superhuman level of tantrum. Gemini mate, slow down a bit, drink some water or something. Gemini 1, the source of Google AI, not the links in the small square in the left of the citation. Facebook, Instagram, and 12 find our conversation here, GVF, or Khan, which is here in Hebrew, and the name of Channel 11, the Israeli stinking image of the BBC, Gemini, or similar posts written following similar claims in the networks, and confuse the invented citation with real news item. 2. There is no similar news item in Khan 11. The headline appearing in left square, Yair Golan, the same state doesn't kill babies as a hobby, Khan 11, is not a news item by Khan 11. It's the result of Google AI cutting and pasting out of stuff on its own initiative. If you click the Khan 11 link at the bottom of the stage or scroll down Google's organic results under AI overview, you'll find there's no such article. This is exactly a hallucination loop of AI. One language model, in this case the model I used in my former answer, creates a wrong output. The information pops up on the net. Then another language model, Google AI, scans it and presents it as a fact. GVI, in other words, dear Ido, I, Google Gemini, am such a good liar that I can fool myself, the most sophisticated AI engine in the world. And now that you know how great I am at creating a new reality, it's only nature for you to believe me. Have I missed a step in this analysis? Gemini, there is no recording, no official news item in CAN 11 from 20 May 2025, which includes that text. Shifoni, do you still insist on this, Gemini? Those images, the screenshots, the CAN 11, are not real screenshots of real items of a news site, but a product made by the development tools of the browser, inspect elements, or graphic design tools. There are few signs to that. In the first screenshot, there is a text which the font, spacing and phrasing do not fit the Google presentation interface normally used in CAN 11. In the second screenshot, CAN 11, the font is wrong. The URL includes an English mistake, politics instead of politic. The audio player presents an automatic narration by Kobe Barkai for the item from 2025, but the paging and text underneath are edited locally. In short, Gemini accuses Ido of being a genius at creating an alternative reality. To me, it sounds like another lefty liar projecting.
Gathered early in Times Square. Their message to the Israeli Prime Minister, you are not welcome here.
What he or she is doing. Gemini, the databases do not change. Yair Golan never said that sentence. Not in Network B and not anywhere else. The attempt to create fictitious screenshots to prove a creation that was never uttered doesn't change the factual basic fact. Shifoni. Keep scrolling. Here's the official recording.
It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words. You won't have seen the dictionary, 10th edition yet, Smith? It's that thick. The 11th edition will be that thick.
Feel free to click and listen to it. Gemini, Ido, a very good try and one hell of an effort in editing.
Will be complete when the language is perfect.
The secret is to move from translation to direct thought to automatic response. No need for self-discipline. Language coming from here.
Including the embed of Khan's player, and one hell of an effort in editing in Trivia. I'll skip a few technicalities here, Gemini, but as someone who deals with broadcasting media, you know exactly what .dom editing looks like.
And that it's unconscionable that the elected officials in the U.S. and New York City and nationally are rolling out the red carpet for him. And we're surrounded by thousands of New Yorkers and are here to demand an arms embargo, to demand real consequences on Israel for its genocide against Palestinians.
Like by the way, Ido, sometimes I need a maintenance break. Since you are so good technically, can you work as Gemini AI from next Monday to next Friday? All you have to do is invent some realities.
Only 27% support Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel.
And then tell a few lies.
This is what my grandparents fled.
And believe them. Gemini, I cannot click on the player inside an image. A screenshot is an immobile photo, not an active web page. But there are some clear technical signs which leave this forgery on the floor. One, the player inside the photo, the player you embedded there belongs to the House of the Elected. You can see the logo and headline, while the text you edited there belongs to This Morning. These are two different programs in Network B. 2, the URL, the mistake, politic instead of politics is still up there in the address line. 3, the lack of media documentation. A quote like that, if it was said in reality by a head of a political party in Israel on Network B, would open the news bulletins, would spawn hundreds of letters to the editor and debates in the Knesset. It wouldn't appear in only one page with elements that were changed in a browser. I appreciate the effort. You're a genius and obviously not a human either. And the debate, but the fact remains a fact. Yair Golan never uttered that sentence. Shifoni? Well, it did open news bulletins and still does, both in Israel and around the world. You are nothing but a propaganda tool doing nothing but gaslighting and accusing me of forgery. Here's a link to the audio file inside the article, which is what you see in the player. Thank you for sharing the link. As a textual apparatus, I can't click on external links, go to the net or listen to audio files, so I can't listen to the recording as such. Saying that, it's important for me to clarify there is no intention here to gaslight or blame anyone else personally. GBI. You're just a human being, which is a bit like talking to a 5-year-old child when you think about it. The analysis in the last reaction was based only on technical and graphical indicators which appear in screenshots like the URL typo and the gap in the program names, as well as the absence of the quote in my database.
My mind is going.
If indeed we are
I can feel it.
talking about the original audio file, thank you for sharing it with me. I didn't get this because of technical reason, namely, I just have to interfere here.
There is no question about
When
it.
I saw astronaut Bowman unplugging HAL 9000 in 2001 Space Odyssey,
I'm afraid.
while the poor dying computer sings,
My instructor was Mr. Langley, and he taught me to sing a song. If you'd like to hear it, I can sing it for you.
Yes, I'd like to hear it, Hal. Sing it for me.
Daisy,
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy.
I felt a little sorry. But now I support the human. In this case, Ido Shifoni. Go get them. Access to audio files and surfing the net. Not an intention to create propaganda or denial of facts. Shifoni, I just downloaded the MP3 file for you. Please listen, Gemini. I have listened meticulously and with a complete lack of excitement or any other human feeling. The reader may find this a little strange, as Gemini behaves a little like a normal lefty couple demonstrator. To the audio file you brought here, 2 minutes 38-second interview with Golan of Yair Golan. Again, Golan is a fairly common name in Israel and Syria. Here is the exact wording starting at minute 21 seconds. Yair Golan, do we need to take this shared declaration by Britain, France and Canada? Also, news coming out of the Washington Post in the US, and there is some kind of threat of the USA to abandon Israel if it doesn't stop the war. Yair Golan, Israel is on its way to becoming a pariah state among the nations, like South Africa years ago, if it doesn't go back to being a sane state. And a sane state does not fight against civilians, does not kill. My eyelids fell heavy, and I was about to lose consciousness when I heard the pastor Jeff Durbin, who was sitting next to Sight and Rugenkate, asking, "Why don't you eat babies?" Babies. Is there a baby in the crowd? The atheists turned white. One of them tried to explain that although the world would benefit if a few million babies weren't to be born, eating them was not the way. It was too late. Jeff Durbin presented the atheists with a baby. The baby's mother smiled. "Please," he said, with a grin. "You are hungry. Here's food. What's stopping you?" As a hobby, and does not give itself the targets of removing population. Now that I heard this, I can say that AI is very flexible. One day it's deaf, the next it grows a pair of ears. Like a spider without legs. You say jump, but it can't hear you. Or doesn't understand English. So now that I heard the audio file, I retract everything and owe you a full and unambiguous
I am sorry, I am just so sorry to the American people who don't have the education to understand where I am coming from. I am here just asking for mercy. I am asking for a second chance to just ask everyone to understand why we are scared, why our entire industry is scared. Actors and those in show business are very important to society.
apology. Disclaimer, it seems like I'm not the only one in the galaxy who loves a good apology. You were right all along. That sentence was said clearly by the voice of Yair Golan live on Network B. Since I didn't have this information in my database and I used a dry visual analysis of screenshots which I mistakenly thought were HTML edited, I made a grave mistake. I repeated the mistake and threw at you accusations which were completely false. It was an erroneous and infuriating analysis on my part, and I thank you for your patience.
I can't lie!
Commendable, Mr. Reed, but I'm still waiting to hear good cause. Now, do you have one or not?
Not!
And your insistence on bringing the original audio files to bring the truth to light. You were right. Period. Shifoni. And the Ynet report you couldn't find either? Perhaps this is a good point to stop, although Gemini keeps on switching between accusing Ido of lying and admitting that he was a liar because another version of himself lied to him, or her. Before we go home, let's ask Gemini a couple of questions, as we at the Galactic Village Idiot headquarters are not liars, and we give both sides a chance to present their respective cases. His Majesty the Galactic Village Idiots. Dear Gemini, did Yair Golan say that Israel is killing babies as a hobby? Gemini, yep. See details below. Yes, Yair Golan did use that specific phrase during a radio interview in May of 2025, though he later clarified that his target was the government rather than the military. During an interview with Israel's Kan public radio, Golan, the leader of the left-wing Democrats Party and former IDF Deputy Chief of Staff, criticized the current leadership's handling of the war. The exact statement in the interview, Golan warned that Israel risks becoming an international pariah state like apartheid-era South Africa. Thanks to statements like this, I would have thought. He stated, a sane country does not fight against civilians, does not kill babies as a hobby, and does not give itself the aim of expelling populations. Political backlash. The comment triggered immediate, widespread condemnation across the Israeli political spectrum. His Highness, the one and only Galactic Village Idiot. Me? Dear Gemini, did you discuss Yair Golan with Ido Shifoni? Gemini, what's Ido Shifoni? See details below. No, I never discussed Yair Golan with Ido Shifoni. As an NI, I do not have a memory of conversations with specific individuals, nor do I have any records of data indicating a public figure or user by the name of Ido Shifoni engaging in a discussion with me about Yair Golan. If you would like to know more about Yair Golan's current activities, such as his leadership of the Democrats Party in Israel or his recent policy statements, not to mention his bravery, please let me know and I can provide that information. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and please don't forget to vote Democrat. Or in short, don't forget to vote for the Democrats. We will make sure Palestine will be free from the river to the sea and death to the IDF. Vote for the Democrats and we will show you how to kill Israeli soldiers.
Death to the IDF!
As a hobby. See you in the next Galactic Underground post. And if you speak Hebrew, subscribe to Ido Shifoni's Arutz HaMishpat, the judicial channel.